packed up, and is that your case in there,
That
mate?
is, mate. Carp is one going, mate.
Yeah, that pink gay-looking thing, that's Max's.
It's red.
It's not red.
It's £2.
You're like one of these people that's a ginger that calls himself Strawberry Blonde.
Yeah, pretty much, mate.
So, we just got to the hotel and I can see it going right off tonight. I think there's a few beers. It's going to be carnage in here. Have a look. This is like party capital of this hotel. It is going off in this hotel tonight.
Pool table in here, mate.
Mate, I can see it being carnage. This is the room to be in later on, boys. Someone's 85th. Have it. This is the room to be in later on for the Welsh boys. Look at the arse on that one. That's got an arse and a half, isn't it?
Yes! Get in there! Yes!
You got hangover?
No hangover for me, mate. I was on cider. You boys on that strong 6 or 7% beer. There's going to be a few sore heads in reception this morning.
Lucky I'm here.
Dave, the rave. He was having it last night with all the Dutch football fans.
Here we are, Carplantis.
Hello boys, big fish have just come on. Just since 48 hours they started feeding, so I think you boys timed it right. Right boys, welcome. The biggest difference fishing here to anywhere else really, I think, or to most other places, is boats. Yeah, we use boats here. It's a deep lake, safety comes first. In the centre part of the clubhouse there's life jackets, yeah. Whether you rent a boat here or you brought your own boat, yeah, use these, they're free, yeah. Your life is worth a lot more. It's just...
We've got our own life jackets anyway.
Good. Right, the boating. You'll do your feature finding with the boats and everything. You bait up with the boat. You can cast if you want, but I would advise to use boats where you can, just so you learn to know the lake as fast as possible. You've only got a week, so make most of it. But more important, as soon as you get a take, except if it's 10 yards out in the margin, but as soon as you get a take a bit further out, especially if you hook them up in the first 20, 30 yards in the margin, get in the boat, don't drive to the fish with your rod, but drive to the middle of the lake, yeah. Keep tension on the line and use the engine to pull them away from the sides. As soon as you get these fish in the middle, you're free, yeah. You can't lose them or anything because you've got deep water below you. And then the fight starts. You bring the fight to the fish, yeah, like that. It's more explosive, it's a better fight, it's a better experience, yeah, but it's also a much higher chance of not losing fish. 25% of all fish hooked here gets lost by hook pulls. And why? There's all sorts of reasons, but that's just the figures. Yeah. So basically what I would suggest is drop the weight you're using. Yeah. So if either that's a lead or a lead replacement, we've got like the concrete things here of 9 ounce. We use big weights because the fish have got hard mouths. Solid. It's because of the bottom. Yeah, you need that first pick of the hook to be hard in. Yeah, as soon as the lead drops, the fish will go up. Yeah, the chances of losing it then are remote. Let's put it that way. Right, as soon as you landed it, please pull out the arms of the net, roll it up, check the fins, and sling it in the boat. All my boats have got unhooking mats in. There's a sling already in there, so you can unhook it there. You can take it out of the net in the boat, zip it up in the sling, and as soon as you get back to your margin, please give it a little dunk in the water. Leave it there for 5–10 minutes. It will give you the time to put the tripod in the right place, to get your camera gear ready and everything. Please don't put the fish in the sling longer than 15 minutes. I don't care if it's raining, I don't care if it's hailstorm, I don't care if it's the biggest fish you've ever seen or whatever, I don't care. Maximum 15 minutes. I've had dead fish in the sling before. They're retainers, they're not Cape Sacks. That's basically the fish safety thing. Of course, please use the carp care stuff. There's one in every swim. On any wound, you can use it anywhere. As soon as you put a bit of water after, it solidifies, yeah, and it just helps to prevent infections. You will see that most fish are in real good nick, and that's a part of it. You can WhatsApp me 24 hours a day with captures. I love it. So yeah, that's about it. Have you boys got questions?
No, I think we had a little walk around, didn't we, and spoke about a few bits that the questions we had, and they've all been answered. So yeah, you just reiterated everything that we needed to know. So perfect.
I think there's going to be a challenge to divide the swims, isn't there?
Yeah.
Not another one.
Better get on with that then.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
That's
I'm
nerves.
getting excited.
That's nerves.
It is nerves. Do we need a wee? Do you need one or not?
Yeah, yeah.
So we have to go wee quickly.
I've not eaten all day, so I'm super light.
I've eaten loads.
Led to amazement, head to the page. Swearing I'm hearing this chatter that people be talking, I swear. Switching my lanes, living too fast. Forgive him for living this life is a prison, so many get crashed. When I feel like I'm dead, not alive, then I peel right, I bled from my eyes. Maybe your tragedy, call me your majesty, ain't no one bad as me, aggy like Agassi. Slacking, you slacking, ain't no one can test me, I'm black and I'm black and I'm blacker than Wesley. My flow is amazing, your flow is just average, I'm feeling established, you're go savage.
It beat for 30 seconds.
How long?
30 seconds.
Oh, you got whooped.
Half a second.
Still lost.
When we arrived, I drove down the track through a big set of double gates, and I've got to admit, when you look on a map, the lake just looks like a square, but I was pleasantly surprised as we come through these gates, and it was beautifully tree lined, lots of big sets of reeds, overhanging trees.
Oak trees, birch trees, it really is spectacular, really lovely to look at.
When we got here, me, Dave and Dan are absolutely buzzing. This place is electric. I mean, you just walk through them gates and you see the swims, and every single swim you want to fish.
There's 4 very large, comfortable double swims. And do you know what? This is one of the only venues I've ever been to. It doesn't matter if you come out last in the draw. Every swim is great.
I do have an approach in mind. I'm going to fish 2 rods on adjustable zigs, so I can move them up and down through the water column, trying to trap the fish. The other 2 rods, I'll try and get some sensible depths because the lake's very deep. So I'm going to go around with the echo sander, see if I can find the little humps and bumps, and I'll place them rods on spots and just keep them fed throughout the week, and hopefully at some point a big fish will visit them.
Every venue I go to, I normally have a starting point of what I'm going to put in. So my starting area for here was crushed boilies, chopped boilies, 12 millers, few pellets, and little wafter baits over the top, little snowmen, something like that, something that's not really blatant in your face. That's my normal go-to start, so that's what I'm going to be doing on this venue.
It isn't an easy venue. They're not climbing up your lines. It isn't a runs water. Basically, you've got to work for your fishing here. It is going to be a challenge.
In the last few weeks, it's only been doing a handful of fish in a week to 8 anglers. So it's going to be a challenge. I'm really looking forward to it. And I've gone in there, looked at the photos on the wall, and I really can't wait to getting stuck in some of these fish in my mouth.
You know I'm on my, yes I'm on my, yes I'm on my, I'm so, yes I am so, I'm on my.
When we arrived, we was very limited on time. What we did had a quick walk tour of the lake with Coos, the owner. He told us the vital spots in the swims, some areas of the lake that we need to explore to get the fish on the bank. We was really limited on time, as I say. We wanted to get the base camp up. The biggest factor, I say, is be comfortable for these trips. You don't want to rush getting the rods out. Someone left 4 or 5 hours before me. They've got bait out there. Let the fish feel comfortable. Let them come into the spots, explore, no lines in the water. Get your camp all set, be comfortable for the week. I can't express it enough. Rushing to get rods out, one, you might spook them away, you're not fishing effectively, and it might hamper your week. So what I decided to do, I've turned up, base camp all sorted. Everything is immaculate, everything's sorted. I've got my rigs, I've got my leads, I've got my bait, I've done my chops, I've done crush boilie, I've got bait soaking in the lake water. I want everything ready, so if I get a take, the rods can go straight back out and I can get a rig out effectively and efficiently as quick as possible. 3 rods tight, a little spread of bait, 3 rigs out there, and hopefully one of the fish turn up and one of them rods go.
I'm not sure if you can see here, but the weather is absolutely horrendous. It's not raining at the moment, but it has been. At the moment, the winds are about 40 miles an hour. It is battering all of us, especially me, because I'm right in the teeth of it. But I get an absolute one-toner. Straight on the life jacket, straight in a boat, get out into the middle of this pond, because you do not want the fish to go into the edges here. So every fish, I'm jumping in the boat, going out into the middle, and playing it from the middle or as far away from the edges as I can. Today I was getting blown back in even though the motor was on number 3, and I'm rewarded with a bit of a lump. 41.5 on the nose. I could not be happier with that. It was the first fish from Carplantis. Well, have a look at this bad boy. The weather is absolutely horrendous. The gale force winds, the rain, everything has been against us, but this absolutely gorgeous 41.5 pound common has made my morning. The German rig done me proud once again. Fishing a little snowman rig. Brown on brown, no fluoros on this one. Fished over a load of chops on the back of a bar, bit of crushed, and the pellet that they sell here. Absolutely made up with this one. You do not believe how happy I am with this one. One of the things that the owner, Coos, specifies is that when you catch a fish, he's got a weigh-in scale in the bottom of the unhooking mats. Now, all you have to do is pop it on there, take a snapshot of the measurement, and send it over, because growth is measured in length and not always in weight. So he wants to be absolutely sure how big his fish are getting and the growth rates in here, which is absolutely fantastic fishery management if you ask me. Whilst I've got the rig out of the water, I thought I'd show you exactly what I'm using. I've got about 4.5 foot of lead-free leader with 50 pound. This will hug the bottom absolutely perfectly, sit on the nice contours so it doesn't spook any of the fish around the area. I've got a drop-off lead clip system, very simple. When I get a take, that will come off, the fish will come to the surface. What I have got is a 5-ounce flat pear lead. The reason I use them so big and so flat is because I'm fishing on the base of the slope. I don't want it to slide down if I am a foot up or a foot down. This would be perfect. Doesn't matter where I drop it along that base, it's going to sit there and it's not going to make the rig roll down the base of the slope. So for me, a 5-6 ounce flat pair is absolutely essential in this situation. And moving on to the rig end, this is the ever faithful German rig. I absolutely love this for critically balanced snowman setups. I've got a 15mm hard hook bait on the bottom, and I've got a little tiny barrel wafter. This just sits perfectly. The hook is just laying on the bottom, just so, and a little bit of silicone as a kicker. To be honest with you, you don't really need the silicone, but I put it on there because I'm confident in it, and that's what matters to me. I've got a semi-stiff tungsten hook link, one of our new prototypes. This is brilliant. It sinks like a stone. It acts absolutely perfect. I haven't had to steam this. A couple of little rubs through the fingers and it's dead straight. And then I've got a long anti-tangle sleeve. Absolutely perfect. Underneath that, I've got a figure of 8 loop, just hooked onto a quick chain swivel. So there we are, the German rig that's doing me the do. I'm going to get it back out now and see if we can catch another one.
The rules here at Carplantis stipulate any fish landed, you have to play them from the boat. And when they supply you with echo sounders, the boats themselves, oars if you wish, to actually come out, it is absolutely imperative. You must do it, it's absolutely essential. I'm coming out here, it's all good casting from the bank, but I'm feeling for if there's any sort of structures, any snags. They've got the echo sounder telling me the different depths, but it's just nice to feel it with a lead. Usually on these European trips, I opt to use the bait boat. I'm not really a big boat angler, but I'm really enjoying it at the start of the week here. And as I say, I think it's absolutely essential for putting fish on the bank here.
It's going to be an absolute nightmare out here because I've got to go up over a bar and I'm fishing just on the back of a slope of a bar. And that's all right when the wind's not hailing at 50 mile an hour. But in this weather, I'm going to be blown all over the place out there and I don't think I'm going to be mega accurate. So I'm not that experienced in a boat, so we'll give it a go, see what happens. Take it nice and easy out there, it's not too dangerous, the waves ain't too massive. It's just me getting drifted about everywhere that's going to be the problem. So yeah, let's give it a go and see what happens. Woohoo! My God!
So it's the first morning, quiet for me last night. I've seen a fish over the bait this morning, but I've noticed Jay's just had one, so we're off the mark, which is really good. I did notice last night Jay put quite a lot of bait in, where I opted to go with just a bait boat full along the reeds, trying to nick a bite, but it's worked for Jay. So most likely today I'm going to get out in the rowing boat and I'm going to put a lot of bait in, something I can sit on for the week, because there's no moving swims here. I'm stuck in this swim, so I've got to make the best of it. I've been told this swim's only done one bite in 2 weeks, so I know I'm up against it, but I do love a challenge.
Well, that was an experience. Took me 3 goes. I got over the spot 3 times. On the 3rd attempt, I managed to settle myself in, got myself in. It's just about 6 metres, so it's fairly deep to get the rig into position. Felt it dunked down lovely, waited for the flumps to come up to the top, and baited over it. Fingers crossed it all worked out well and the bait actually landed where the rig went. I don't know. It is what it is. We'll soon tell if the bobbin starts flying, won't we? The birds are still singing. Soaking in here, for sake. This. Goodbye from me. Absolute nightmare today. Peeing with rain, wind is horrendous. As you can see, it's dark in here because I am bivvy bound. Face on, rain's in, everything's soaked. It's an absolute nightmare. So, never mind. We'll get there. I've had a fish, so it don't matter. I'll keep you updated as long as this bivvy don't fly away. Typical Dave. I'm huddled up in the bivvy because I'm getting absolutely battered by this wind. So he don't think that I'm watching him, but I've got eyes everywhere. Look at him in my swim, he's such a poacher. Ruthless Dave strikes again. And I just see a fish show about 10 yards off of his bank. So, as they say, he's going too far. Oh, I'm freezing, I'm getting back in the tent. Whoa! It's freezing out here, John. Well, it is a grey day today. It's been raining since about 10 o'clock last night. Got absolutely soaked when I had that fish. But Danny Boy's just landed one over there in the corner. So happy days with him. I'm out from the cam.
I was rudely awakened this morning by the receiver going into absolute meltdown on the middle rod. I've come out, pulled into it, life jacket on, straight out into the boat. What an experience. Playing this out in the middle in the deep water, and this is the end result. What a way to open my account here in Holland. Absolute stunner. Made up with that. Let's slip her back and get that kettle on. When we arrived at the venue 2 days ago now, Coos, the owner, took me inside the clubhouse, and it really is like a wall of fame. I really was in awe of the fish that was on that wall. And I am absolutely elated to know that I've had one already. Hopefully it's the start of things to come. If they get bigger and better, then I'm going to be gobsmacked, because I really did get off to an absolute fly with one of the best looking carp I've ever seen. So my approach now, I'm going to try and build on my swim. I've got all 3 rods tight on an area, situated on a bar out there, variant depths. What I'm going to keep doing now, morning and night, I'm going to top it up with boilie, some chopped boilie pellet, just to try and get things going. Hopefully 1 bite turns into 2, maybe turns into 3. As we know, it's not an easy lake. They do not climb up your lines. It is hard graft here, but that hard work really pays off. Effort equals rewards, as everyone says, and if I can have another one of them gems in my landing net, I'll be going on to the next venue really happy.
So yesterday, Ruthless Dave goes out in the big boat and poaches my swim, and now, because I caught him, he's gone out with the little tiny bait boat. This is territory war, and my bait boat's bigger than his.
The baiting approach I'm going to use this week is quite simple, and one I use quite often. Cell. In 15 mils, I can either crush this or chop it if I want to, so I can turn that bait into any type of consistency I want. I've got the 10 millers because I've heard they like small baits in here. So I'll be mixing them up with some of the pellet that they feed me here all year round. It's fed to these carp non-stop, so you'd be mad not to give it a try because they're used to finding it. And I'm just going to mix that up with the cell, and I'm hoping that'll be a winning combination. That's on 3 of the rods. On 1 of the rods I've got an adjustable zig. It's a very deep water, 45 foot in the middle, so I'm going to come up in the layers to about 38 to 40 foot and try and intercept them fish as they're moving around. So they're my 3 methods, and I'll be doing that throughout the week. We've got 6 nights here to hopefully try and snare a big fish.
So this for me, I'm a real novice in the boat, but I tell you what, I ain't half enjoying it. I'm like Captain Hook out here, I can't stop going out in the boat, I bloody love it. All right, we're just over the float now. There's been 2 bites so far, and the week's getting on. It's getting later and later, so a little change of approach. I've put a lot of oils in this, I've got some hemp oils in there with all the particles, the chopped boilie, the crumb. Basically, if there's any fish up in the layers, I've had zigs on for 2 days. I've had a 34 foot and a 32 foot out in the depths where it's 44 foot out in the middle, to no avail. But if there is any fish, using the liquid attractors, hopefully it'll float down through the water column and get them to just come down and feed confidently in this area. I don't know if anyone else is actually using any particle. All the people I've spoke to, the lads, they're using a lot of pellet. So maybe something a little bit different. Might just switch them or spur them on to get a bite. Putting the liquid attractors in and the hemp oil, the smart liquid, it really is creating a cloud. So anything up in the columns, hopefully it will entice one of those lovely Dutch carp to get their heads down and feed. That's the plan anyway. Job done. Hopefully one of them Dutch carp slip up. Let's get back to shore, Pugwash. Show me the way to go home. I've taught you through the baiting approach now on the new spot we found. So we're fishing out into the deeper part of the lake, fishing in 8.4 metres. It drops off really nice, gradually dips away to the back of a bar, which comes from the reed bed here out into the lake. And I started off with all 3 rods situated on one real tight area. It did do me a fish, a really lovely 42-pound mirror, absolute stunner. But the last few days has gone really quiet. The lake isn't fishing its head off. There's been 2 bites all round the lake in the last 72 hours. What me and my fishing partner now, Paul, are going to do, we're going to move 1 rod each. We have found a lovely spot out into the deeper body of the lake. It goes down to 8.4 metres, down the back of a lovely gully. Really hard, nice and firm, so we're going to move a rod each. I went out in the boat earlier, had a little lead round, try and see what the topography was on the Echo Sounder in the main boat, and it really is a lovely spot. The mix that I've decided to put out there, I've gone quite heavy. I've put 2 30-litre modular buckets worth of bait. It's a mixture of the Pro Pellet here from the fishery. I've got some chopped boilies, so if anything runs down the back of the bar, it's not like the round conventional baits. They're not going to roll right to the bottom. They are going to land exactly where they fall. So anywhere they come through, they will sit there nicely and not roll to the bottom. I've got a mix, something I've started to do, I've added some particle. We've gone in this week with just boilie and pellet approach, and as I say, the lake's fishing very hard. Maybe using some different size food items, a lot of attraction, a lot of oil in there. Any fish in the water columns, they will come down and feed. I've got a mixture here, I've got a few maples, I've got some maize, we've got some hemp. The only thing I've added a little bit different, we've been washing out baits now for 3 days. These are mega soft, ultra soft. And the hook bait of choice I'm going to do, because of all the different food size items, I could use a magnitude of hook baits. I've got this little secret stash of these washed out banoffee cell hook baits. They really are awesome baits. Caught fish in them absolutely everywhere. And with one of these looking washed out, hopefully they'll pick up that freebie. I've tipped it off with a little yellow tipper, just so it imitates the mix that we're putting out. And you never know, we might have one of them special fish to show you shortly.
Here, Dave.
Yeah.
How was your reversing?
I didn't do it first and just drove over it forward.
Yeah? What happened to your back window last time?
I reversed into a tree.
Yeah? Do you want to come and have a look what you've done? Come on. Let's go and have a look. What you done here, mate?
Well, I thought the material looked quite slack, so I tightened it up.
Right, okay. Look at that! For God's sake.
Next time, who situates their bivvy on a road?
I'm not on the road, look. There's the road, look.
There's the road.
Yeah.
I came down here.
I'm
I've got to
beside
pull
it.
into this spot.
Max, let's not worry about that. Let's check that my van's all right.
Oh yeah, that is a good point.
No, the van's good. Unlucky.
Oh.
Unlucky.
Unlucky.
I've got to get my rods out in a minute. Realised I've run out of bait, so I'm here crushing it up. I've got to chop some 15 millers and I'm going to put the 12 millers in whole. A little bit of liquid over the top, mix it all together. Load of the pellet, get it over the spot. I'm going to be fishing in about 9 metres now, 8.5, 9 metres. Try something a bit different and yeah, see how the next few days goes. I've had a couple of quiet days out on the open water spots. I had a 41 pounder the first morning, but since then it's gone quiet. I'm fishing 2 rods on about 6.5, 7 metres. I spoke to the bailiff who's told me there's a fantastic spot out in about 8.5 metres. So who am I to argue with a bailiff who's here all the time and he knows the spots like the back of his hand. So we're going to jump in the boat, get some bait out there, put the rig down and see what happens.
It's been 2 bites so far, and the week's getting on. Hopefully, one of the fish turn up and one of them rods go. And you never know, we might have one of them special fish to show you shortly. Special fish, special fish, special fish.
£45, biggest of the trip so far. Get in there. Well, there we have it. Proof in the pudding. If you don't change spots for a week, the results are there to be had. An absolutely majestic Dutch mirror. The colours on it are absolutely phenomenal. So pleased with this one. They're visiting the spot every morning. And yeah, this is the main reason why we came to Carplantis. Absolutely lovely mirrors like this. Dark as you like, black as a hat. Let me talk you through my rig presentation of choice for here at Carplantis. It's my ever faithful beak point blowback rig. I have the utmost confidence in this. Let me talk you through the components and how to construct the beak point blowback rig now. So I've got 7 to 8 inches of soft coated braid there in the £25 camo. There's a couple of elements why I'm choosing to use the £25 soft over a stiff. I'm not fishing very far out. I'm fishing at about 60, 65 yards on top of a gravel hump. Loads of pea shingle, loads of little stones. I know the soft is laying effectively and efficiently every time over the little bits of shingle, and I've not got nothing to worry about. It's presenting itself every time. If I was fishing a lot further out, I'd opt to use the stiff coated, probably in the 35. It's nice and stiff, it'll kick away from the lead, meaning that your rig's fishing effectively out at range. Then we come down to the hook. The hook choice is absolutely key. For me, the beak point is my go-to pattern. Super pin sharp, straight out the packet. I've got it here in a size 4, mega sharp, mega reliable, and I've landed some huge fish both home and abroad on this hook. On the hook, I've decided to use 2 pieces of shrink tube. I haven't opted to use a rig ring. I've decided to use a small piece of shrink, about 2 mil, opposite the barb of the hook. What this does, if the rig's being picked up and ejected, when I bring it in to check, to rebait, to put a fresh hook bait on, I can see that it's slid up the shank, and unfortunately it's been picked up. Even if it does get picked up, I know it's fishing effectively. It will reset itself every time, as would a rig ring, but it's just that little peace of mind. I'd like to know if I'm getting picked up and done. Over the eye, I've got a small piece of shrink tube, probably 4 to 5 mil. What this does, this acts as a kicker. This sets the hook home. I make this really aggressive. When I'm steaming it over the kettle, I pull the rig down tight towards the point of the hook, just so it makes it at an acute angle, and I believe it sets the hook home. It's something I do for peace of mind, a bit of confidence. Then we go down to the hook bait. I've got an Activate hard hooker. That's topped by a shellfish and black pepper pop-up, just to add a little bit of buoyancy. You can fish this rig on a standard bottom bait, you can fish it with 2 pieces of corn, or you can fish it on a snowman setup like this with a little bit of buoyancy. You can fish it as a wafter. So this really is a go-to rig. Dependent on the situation you're faced with, this is a rig that fishes all situations and lands numbers of fish. Coming away from the rig, I've now found out that I've got to get my rods in, get up the hut sharpish. The boys have got something planned. Looks like it's going to be another challenge for episode 3, the venue in question there. Without further ado, let's get these rods in and go see what these boys have got in store.
Well, basically, this is another bullshit challenge done by Paul, who's going to basically try and screw us over, get us soaking wet. Could be skydiving, anything.
I'm worried because I said I'm going to come down here at 1 o'clock, I'm going to get in the shower, and then we leave here to go and do this challenge at 2.
Yeah.
It's gone past that. Paul's told me I'm not allowed to have a shower. It's pointless. He said you're going to get wet. So I'm a bit like, I don't know what's going on. This is a bit dodgy, this one, I think.
For me, it can't be any worse than the last one, so whatever they've got, for me, I'm quite open to this one. The last one, I was bricking it.
It could involve, and this, I hope it's not an eating challenge again.
Oh, I don't want to be eating I've had summer cake all day.
I'm not eating crap again. It's not, you know what I mean? Here it is.
Why do they feel heavy? Oh, that's quite heavy. Am I reading it again then, yeah?
Yeah, go for it, Joe.
Probably the only one that can read a full sentence between you idiots.
We're dressing up, aren't we?
We're dressing up. The Abbey Challenge. Name of the challenge on your bike. What it includes. Each angler will don their costume clogs. mount the allocated bicycle and ride to the nearest pub. It's hammering down with rain, you having a laugh? On arriving at the pub, you must sink the local ale as fast as you can, get in, eat the renowned Dutch cake, and finally knock back a couple of shots. Simply jump back on your bike and then cycle as fast as you can back to the venue. Right, let's have a butcher's.
Oh my gosh.
It's got your name on it and everything.
Oh my God, is that mine?
They're yours.
Oh, the RidgeMonkey.
There you go. Nice, Danny boy. Mine are going to be a pair of Air Maxes, I know it.
Yeah.
Size of them. Oh, that's brilliant.
Right.
Oh, one with a crate on.
Don't be picking this one. No, don't be picking that one.
Yeah, it's for you, Jay.
I'll end up with that one. You watch. With the basket.
It's got a light as well.
Strong frame.
What are you saying, Dave?
That's nothing, mate. Good. I think that I should get to pick first because I missed out.
No. Oh, yeah.
No, style that. No.
Everyone, look. No, let the governor choose. That's the light
We're
one.
not exactly doing the 10,000 miles, are we? Do you know what I mean?
Dave used to be a pro biker.
Did you?
He did. Yeah, Jay.
You're joking.
Jay, he did. He did.
Are you serious?
Yeah, straight up.
This is a fix. Oh, blimey. It's a bit big, isn't it? You have to be like 7 foot to ride these. I've lost already. Whoa, there's cars coming. I am not happy with this. Where's the brake? I haven't got a brake. This is scary, this one. Thank you. That is the most scariest bike I've ever ridden in my life. Piss off. Girls one. This is the one. I'm in it now. You boys have got no chance. Now I'm in this one. Can somehow feel this is going to end bad. Really do. I can see blood. I can see grazed knees and elbows.
I'll do this big fella.
Chris Froome, Bradley Wiggins, we're doing a tour of the Holland.
I reckon I can beat yous on the bikes, but I don't know if I can outdrink yous.
Yes! Wow! No! 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 Stop me on the end! Ah! Whoa! Yeah! Oh my God.
This cake's too f***ing big.
What a joke. It is so dry as well. Stop it! No, because you're cheating now, because how you're eating it with your
I'm going to give him the Heimlich in a minute and swallowed it so quick. Can't eat in wallpaper paper. I'm out, bye. No. It can only be one! Well done, Dave. Right. First, second, third. That was eventful, mate, wasn't it? Good fun, eh?
Something that's been absolutely essential to me here fishing over in Holland, and that's been the use of PVA. I'm using two items in conjunction with each other, and it's ensuring every single time that my hook bait is sitting away from the lead, in and around my loose feed, and I know it's not being masked by any weed or debris. And how I'm doing that, I'm taking 3 foam nuggets, I'm pushing them down into the funnel web, and I'm creating these little bags of goodness. Literally, it couldn't be any simpler. I'll thread this down onto the hook link, pull the rig in ever so slightly. What this does, it gives you 2 elements. I'm fishing here in very deep water, in and around 8 metres. So the meshing, I've actually gone around 3 times. That really does vary on the depth that you're fishing over. If you're fishing shallow, you can give it 1 skin. Mid-water, 2 skin. Very deep where I'm fishing, I've gone around 3 times with the meshing. Just triple layering so I know it ensure every time that it fall to the bottom proud and away from my lead setup. The second factor is, when this does dissolve, it will leave 3 nuggets on the surface, which is an absolute great visual indicator whether you want to bait up a catapult, a throwing stick or a spom. Something I will add though is if I'm fishing anywhere there's a little bit of chop, I will make a really oily stick mix. I'll still use some nuggets, but I'll go down to using 2 just to pull the hook inside. But the oil and the slick will release particles and it'll create a slick on the surface. So if you've got a real wind chop, you can still get indication, you know the visual aspect, you know where you can cast to. So PVA is a great added extra and a benefit to anybody's fishing. If you incorporate this into your fishing, you'll definitely be fishing effectively. It takes all the doubt away. And for me, it's like peace of mind, as if I'm dropping the rig in by hand, I know it's going to be sitting proud every single time.
So all of those threats have happened. Finally moved into Dan and Paul's swim, and that is one tight swim over there. There's 3 escape bivvies. There's no room to swing a cat over there now, but there's been a lot of carp showing over there, so I don't blame him. He's pushed Paul out to swim. Paul's not allowed to fish anymore. Ruthless Dave strikes again.
So in the original swim, I didn't give up. I spent 4 nights in there, and I was really hoping that with the weather condition swim, I didn't bring fishing. And after 4 days, it became clearly obvious they just are not getting in that area. I've come up here and I've got a new lease of life. The rods are back out, I'm rubbing my hands again. I'm next to my old mucker Dan, so I can start taking the mickey out of him and having a laugh. We've got the boss down here with us, so no doubt he'll supply us a few beers, and that'll help me take even more of the mickey out of Dan.
Let that sun go down a bit more.
Yeah, the witching hour is perfect for predator fishing, isn't it?
How far can you cast that rod? Where'd you get that from? Aldi's?
Listen, don't take the mickey out of my rod, right? If I was ever blind,
Stevie!
I've got to stick straight away. That's why I do it, because I can't see in the dark, I just feel about it.
Don't tell me that glows in the dark.
Yeah.
Night glow predator stick. Oh no!
Oh, look. Thought I had one and he jigs me off, look. I've got a tangle. You always do this, that's because you was poaching my area.
Oh, here we go, Ruthless Dave's back. Can I come and fish your spots, Dan?
Well, I've had a call. Max, young cameraman, is over there with Jay, and Jay's getting on the hungry side. And Jay hungry is not good. It's what you call hangry. So Max is in danger of getting eaten. So Paul, the boss, he's knocked him up a couple of sausage and black pudding sandwiches, proper northern milled at. We're going to take it over there and deliver it. That's what we're like at RidgeMonkey. We look after each other.
Got a line here. Come around here. Yeah, come here. Come in the middle.
There or there?
Come in the middle.
Oh, my rod's gone.
Oh, for f***'s sake.
It hasn't.
My bloody rod's gone.
It hasn't, has it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but so far. I don't believe it. Sorry, lads.
How typical is that?
That's unbelievable.
He's going to meet me in the boat.
To me. 41, 41, 6.
Yeah, 41. Cheers, Dan. Yes. Cheers, mate. Well, I never thought it was going to happen, I tell you, but it has. I've caught a Holland 40. That's what we come here for. And to say I'm chuffed is an understatement, because we're second from last day and it was looking grim. I was looking at drowning myself and all sorts. It was getting bad. But it's amazing how one fish can make you so happy. Thank you, darling.
Well, we've been taking it in turns to take the food out every morning, deliver it to everyone. It was my turn, and can you believe it? I haven't left that rod for 24 hours. We're halfway across the pond and the bloody rod goes. So I'm driving back to Dan. He knew what to do, get in the other boat and get past the snags. He did a good job for me. We're driving across to him and the engine cuts out on the boat. I couldn't believe it. But eventually we got to Dan and I had to commando roll into the boat. Decent fight and managed to land a fish. So after finally 5 days I'm off the mark. It's been tough, but maybe that rod will go again now. We've got something going.
Hey Dan, what are you doing there, mate?
Clearing the boat out, because when I get a bite, I don't want to be getting wet feet. It's been pissing down for hours. We're getting liners. I ain't jumping in this boat and getting wet feet. So I'm in my shorts and sliders and I'm getting it out.
Just got some fishing right next to the reef. The cameras do not like the rain, so we're having to film it on the iPhone. Looks like a decent fish. They fight so hard in here, it's a joke. I only had one fish, everyone said how hard they fight. The fish I had before was an absolute train. And this one, I was not going to give up. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Yes! Yes! Absolutely buzzing with that. I'm over the moon with this. Moved the spot earlier and it's got off within 4 or 5 hours. Excellent stuff. Come on. There you go.
Swing away.
Lovely.
Come on! That's a beast! A beast!
That's a keeper. That's a keeper. That's a keeper.
Yes. That's how we do finishes at RidgeMonkey.
By my face, hey, don't got time to waste, yeah. I don't need permission, I'ma do it all today, yeah.
Last morning, I was asleep in the boat, literally meant to be packing up at 11 o'clock. 10 past 11, I hear a big massive shout, turn round, have a look out in the lake, and Dave's nailed one right at the very end. Absolutely buzzing. Get round there now. Well done, Davey boy. $49.8. Yes. Get in. Well done, mate.
Well done, mate.
Brilliant.
Cheers, thank you. Cheers, guys. Team effort, guys.
Fuck it, mate.
Go on, boy.
Well, what an end to the week. Literally putting the bivvy down, ready to go home, and the remaining rod's gone. £49, 8 ounces. Biggest fish of the week, and boy, I've had to work for this one. I'm so chuffed. It's gone great for everyone, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the next trip. Thank you, darling.
Well, have a look at that bad boy. What a way to finish an absolutely fantastic week. How you feeling, mate?
I'm on top of the world, mate.
It's been a great week. We've all got into some really nice carp. We've had loads of loves. Been enjoyment for all three of us. And what a finish.
You know what? It's what they call a great escape.
Absolutely.
Dan, you see Max's glasses?
What, these ones? Why did you bring these on the shoot?
Look, they're all scared. I want to catch them. Carp are
Straight.
Whoa. I can adjust through the levels of water and try and f off.
This lad thinks he can unplug the boat and let the water out. How much of a monger you?